Today I'm delighted to speak to JoAnne Yates from MIT. Why is the process of standardization so important in today's economy?
The process was designed back at the beginning of the 20th century in a way that tried to encourage fairness and focus on the technical rather than the political to get agreement on standards, because the standards are voluntary. Companies don't have to follow them once the standards are set. So the way you get them to follow it is to have everyone buying in. That means you have to have all the stakeholders in the room, and you have to have a process that is focused on being as fair as possible. One of the pieces of that we've been thinking about lately is balance. A lot of the old traditional standards organizations require that you have balance between manufacturers of something on the one hand and users, firms that are users on the other, as well as some neutral engineers as well in the room. And now that consortia are coming up and being used more often to set standards, that's not so true. We don't have the balance anymore. And it worries me a little that we don't have that balance, that one side or the other. In a consortium, it's almost always either the manufacturers or the users, but it's often not both.
What should we do?
I think we should actually, there are times when it's important to get all the manufacturers together or all the users together to think about what their needs are. But ultimately, before a standard is set, it should come in front of a body that has a balance requirement, where they're going to be stakeholders from all sides. And that means, even though it takes time, organizations like the ISO, the International Organization for Standardization, and those big old organizations that have been around for a long time, they've tried to speed up their processes, but it takes time to get to that consensus across stakeholders, and sometimes you have to have that time.